YouTubers, what is up? Eagles Truth here with you. This is my first video, so I'm going to real quick explain what I'm all about. Eagles Truth, my name, does not mean that I'm never wrong, that I'm always right. That does not mean that. It just means I'm going to give you exactly how I feel. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Alright, I'm going to give it to you, in a direct fashion. And some people are going to hate me for it. Some people are going to respect me for it. That's just who I am. I'm not gonna be careful about what I say. I'm going to be straight up with you. And sometimes I get a little angry because there's when discussing football and you get into like little arguments with fans and everything, sometimes some straight up bullshit comes out of people's mouths, and so when I feel like I'm proving a point, I get worked up a little bit. Alright, so obviously by the title of this video, you can see it's about the quarterback situation of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I know it's been talked about like crazy, but it's my first video. I haven't talked about it yet, so I'm going to talk about it. Hold on a second. By the way, never smoke is bad for you. I don't really give a shit what you do, but So who do I think will be the starter? Who do I want to be the starter? Those are two separate things. Okay? And the answer is the same for both. And before I tell you which side I'm on, Michael Vick, Nick Foles, Matt Barkley. Not that I think Matt Barkley has a true chance this year to start, but figured I'd list him in that anyway. Before I tell you who it is, I want to real quick make sure you guys understand I'm not a fan of either player. Alright, I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. There's only been one player of the Eagles since I've been following them and watching them hardcore that I've actually been a fan of. And when they went to another team, I didn't change teams, but I actually continued to follow them and root for their success. Alright? Even if they were playing us, which is pretty sad. And that was Brian Dawkins. He's the only one that actually made me like, oh my god. Like, I had a hard-on for Brian Dawkins. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Like, that was it. So there's no horse in this race that, if the guy that I think and want to start doesn't start, I'm not going to piss and moan about it. I'm still going to be excited for the season. We got a new coach, new assistant coaches, coordinators, new defensive scheme, some new players. Like, it's about as new as you can get. This is the first season that I don't know how good or bad we're going to be. Would I predict us to go make the playoffs or go to the Super Bowl? No. I'd predict us maybe around 8-8. If you held a gun to my head and told me to say the Eagles record, if I was wrong, I'd die. Chances are I'd probably die, but I would probably try to go from gut, and I'd say about 8-8, somewhere around there. Maybe 7-9, maybe 9-7, but around 8-8, which would be an improvement. Might even just go 6-10. Even that would be an improvement, but you know what I mean. But that doesn't mean we can't win the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know how good or bad we're gonna be. I'm lost. Okay, so who the hell knows? Like, they could surprise us all. I mean, look at the Colts turnaround. I mean, they worst team in the league to making the playoffs. I mean, turnarounds can be quick, and I do think there's a lot of talent on our team that was just underutilized big time and underperformed and underachieved. And so I just wanted to say that real quick. I have no horse in this race. I'm not going to care too much who, but the quarterback that I think will start and the quarterback I want to start is both Michael Vick. And before y'all, trust me, I'm going to go by why I think he'll start first, and then I'll go by why I want him to start. Why I think he'll start. Well, I don't know. It started when Nick Foles came in. Alright? And I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to do real well. I remember how he did in preseason. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think he was like second or third in quarterback rating or something like that. And I was like, alright, let's see how he does. And most people don't realize that he did play mostly against second and third stringers. He really did. And in the first game, he came in like the third quarter. That's pretty much third stringers. Against the Patriots, he came in on the second drive. But if you recall, the Patriots were playing not many of their defensive starters at all. So it was mostly second stringers. So, and the third game he started, which were, okay, fine, first stringers. And the fourth game he started, but fourth game teams don't play their starters. So he mostly played second and third stringers. So let's try to be clear on that first. He came in, started 6 games, really played about 6.5 games. I wasn't impressed. And I think it's mostly why everybody that's on the Foles side just overrates the shit out of him. Like what they seen was like, God at the quarterback position. Like it was quarterback genius. Like it was the next Tom Brady. I didn't see it. And I can go look at the stats, and I've done that, trying to prove points and everything. But I don't even need to. Just the eye test. I didn't see it. I did not see it at all. The one game he won was against the worst passing defense in the league, Tampa Bay Bucks. And that took the last play of the game. I mean, I just didn't see it. I don't know what you want me to say. I understand he was a rookie. I understand that not every rookie can be Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and RG3. I understand that. But I just didn't look at the 6 games performances and be like, that's our next franchise quarterback. I didn't see it. Okay? Because, if he just showed something, I'd have been like, okay, next year, let's start young. Might be some growing pains, but let's find out what we got. Instead of wasting another year with Michael Vick, who we know is not the future of the team. Because I'll admit, he's not the long-term future of this team. But now I feel like if you start Nick Foles, you're pretty much wasting the year because I don't see it. I don't think he's the guy at all. Do you guys use your eyes? I mean, I really feel like the Foles supporters are just so tired of Vick, they'll start anybody. And it's just like, and people say, well, he did better than Vick, or he did, or at the very least he did the same as Vick, and Vick's a 10-year veteran, and Nick Foles, blah, blah, blah. Did you see the difference in the game plan? Did you see the difference in the schemes? Just watch the Vick games. If you got NFL Rewind on NFL.com and you got the coaches tape, watch the whole field. Put on the coach tape, watch the whole field, watch the routes, because I've done this. Alright? I can prove this. Long posts, deep crossing routes, that takes time to develop. And behind a shaky offensive line, I love Andy Reid as a person. Looks like a real, good, let's not bring that up, but looks like the nice grandpa type or the good father type, loving guy, But that was stupidity as a head coach. You got a really banged up offensive line. You don't do that shit. Run the ball more, because trust me, offensive linemen, they love to go forward more than they love dropping back. Okay, offensive line love going forward. Call shorter routes, get the ball out quicker. People want to keep saying it's Michael Vick's fault he didn't get the ball out quicker. It takes time to develop, people. Jesus effing Christ. And then you watch Nick Foles. Magically, they're running the ball a little bit more with Bryce Brown and McCoy when he was in there. Shorter crossing routes and short hook routes and everything. Occasional deep ball, but mostly short stuff. It was a different fucking offense. Not to mention, he played weaker defenses. Granted, Vick sucked against the Saints and they had a sucky defense. But the Browns had a decent passing defense anyway. The Ravens, enough said. The Steelers, enough said. The Giants, usually, regardless if they had a tough defense or not, as a division rival, they always play us tough anyway. But, they historically have a nice defense. The Cardinals, they had a pretty damn good defense last year. Good defenses. Nick Foles, the Tampa Bay Bucks, only gave me one. Worst passing defense in the league. Cowboys, the Redskins, as good as the Redskins were, their defense still wasn't that great. It was bad. I think the only good defense and then when Vick came back, he played the Giants again. But, tough defense. I was actually looking forward to Foles doing that. I think the only good defense Foles played was the Bengals. And I have to look that up to see if they were really good, but I think, just from memory, that they had a decent defense. What the hell? So, people say, well, Nick Foles, we average more points per game and everything. Foles started 6 games through 6 touchdowns. So he averaged 1 touchdown per game. Calm down. Just calm down. Okay? It was the exact same thing as Michael Vick. I think Vick started 10 games and threw 10 touchdown passes. Calm down. We ran the ball a lot more too. So that's one reason why I think Vick will start. Nick Foles didn't show a whole lot. Okay, the coaches are going to be watching the game tape. They're not going to be. Chip Kelly's not going to be biased. Okay. Number 2, Vick was asked if he was going to restructure his deal, and there was reports out there saying that he didn't want to. They, was not going to. Then Chip Kelly comes here. Reports were that he talked to Vick, and all of a sudden Vick gladly restructures his deal. Doesn't piss and moan about it anymore. Okay. Number 3. Did you see how much read option we are practicing? Have you watched any of that? It's where the quarterback, he says hike and he goes like this, and he can either hand it off or run. Nick Foles is not running. Give me a break. And people say, well, he can always go like this and then pass, or this and kind of run and then flip to the... What do you think a defense is going to do? If you're not fast, you're not fast. Period. Yeah, the passing one will work, but I mean, when he's running out here and going to flip the ball, nobody's going to freaking call. I mean, they're going to fear the flip back. I mean, come on. Michael Vick at least adds, a different element to it. We are running a hell of a lot of read option. A lot of read option. I can understand if it was just, you see it in practice here and there. You're seeing it everywhere in practice. That's almost all you see. I mean, Jesus Christ. And people say, well, Michael Vick will get hurt. I think he'll actually get hurt less running the ball than he would getting hit in the pocket. Because you're getting hit in the pocket, you're not mobile. Sometimes you don't even see it and you get nailed. At least Michael Vick, when he's running, he can see it and brace for the hit. Maybe get out of bounds and maybe do the head first dive like he does. I think we get hurt less running the ball than he does getting beat up in the pocket, to be honest with you. And then last one is, do you see how good Vick is practicing right now? Every practice, and I've been to 3 of them. I've been to 3 practices. 2 at the NovaCare Complex and 1 at Lincoln Financial Field. Every practice I saw, and every practice that I know of, because I follow the tweets from the reporters and everything, and even the ones that are kind of biased to Foles even say this. Every padded practice, Vick has looked better than Foles. Sometimes Vick is sharp and Foles is really had a shaky practice. Sometimes they're both good and just Vick just a tad better. But every padded practice, Vick has been better. Now I understand it's practice. Preseason games and live action where you can actually get hit, because you can't touch the quarterback in practice, means a lot more than practice. But even Chip Kelly said that he does look at practice. It's kind of like school. The preseason games are the final. But the final isn't your whole grade. It's a big portion, but it's not your whole grade. So right now, Vick is winning this quarterback competition. He is. Alright, stop denying it. He is. Now, does that mean that he's going to win it? No. If he gets hurt in preseason, which, last 2 seasons he has been hurt. Or if Foles outplays him in preseason and everything, Foles has a hell of a chance of starting. I'm just saying, as of right now, Vick is winning the quarterback competition. Take it for what you want. This guy that you think sucks so much is outplaying your knight in shining armor Foles. What do you want me to say? It's what's happening. It ain't my opinion or your opinion. It is what is happening. Jesus Christ. And there's people try to counter that with like, well, Vick always does well in practice. I don't remember Vick doing this good in practice last year or the year before. I mean, he's throwing touchdown passes. I mean, left and right, he's completing balls left and right on the money, sharp, tight spirals, looking very crisp. I do not remember Vick looking this good. What practices were you watching last year or the year before? Like, seriously, damn. I just don't get people sometimes. I don't get them. Don't get them. I mean, there was only 2 preseason games since Vick has been an Eagle that I remember him doing well. One was against the Jaguars, not his debut. I think it was a preseason game in 2010 where he ran and, did really well. He wasn't supposed to be the quarterback, so he was playing against second, third stringers. But still. And then against the Ravens on that one touchdown drive, on that one drive that he had against the Ravens in 2011. Preseason game number 1. Those are the only 2 preseason games that I can remember Vick doing well in. So, Foles has a chance. Foles has a chance. This is a new offense and everything, so, you don't really know. Those are the reasons why I think Vick will be the starter. Okay? Why I want him to be the starter. Look, just because I don't predict us making the playoffs or us winning the Super Bowl, doesn't mean we can't. I didn't think the Vikings were going to be as good as they were this year or last year. I didn't think the Colts were going to be as good as they were last year. What do you want me to say? It is possible. Anything's possible. And I want to win as many games as possible. Call me greedy. I don't know. Part of me wants to see Vick in this offense. I think it's very well suited for him. And I want to see it. If he sucks, then yeah, I'm done with Vick. But if he does well, and I think he's going to do well in this offense, I think he's going to be at Pro Bowl level or close to. I really do. People might sit there and laugh at me, but I think this offense is going to suit him very, very well. He might not be Pro Bowl because we're going to be running the ball a lot, so, probably more than half of the time. People say, you don't want to waste a year on Vick because we're not going to win the Super Bowl and yada, 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 yada. I don't want to waste a year with Foles either. I don't see him being the guy. What do you want me to do? I don't see him being the guy. If you guys think Vick sucks so much, why not start him? If he sucks so bad, we'll do really bad, and we'll have a high draft pick and get one of the top quarterbacks of next year's draft. It's a win-win. Yeah, I don't get it. And there's some things that Foles supporters say to try to bash Vick, like he fumbles the ball so much. Let me tell you something. This is what really drives me crazy. Okay? Vick started 10 games last year, fumbled 11 times. That's 1 more fumble than he had starts. Nick Foles started 6 games and fumbled 8 times. That's 8 more fumbles than he had starts. Or 8 more. That's 2 more fumbles than he had starts. So Vick had 1 more fumble than he had starts. Foles had 2 more fumbles than he had starts. But yeah, you're on Vick about fumbling too much. Is it too much? Yeah, it's too much. Way too much. But Foles fumbled at the exact same motherfucking rate, and nobody wants to bring it up because you're biased little bitches. You know damn well you are. I mean, give me a fucking break. If you're going to, say something, say the whole truth. Not just something that just fits your fucking argument. And that shit pisses me off. Drives me crazy. Another thing is people say, well, Vick can't read defenses. Can he read defenses as good as like Peyton Manning and stuff like that? No. He could be better, maybe. He could put more work in the film room and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure. I'll consent that. But he can't read defenses? Can't means you can't. You can't do it at all. Okay? That's a load of bullshit. Come on. There's been games where Vick has audibled and everything. Like, I can think of, like, the Cowboys game of 2011. First Cowboys game. First touchdown we had. Vick audibled to a wide receiver screen. What was it? Oh, it was a touchdown. Like 10, 15-yard touchdown or something like that. There's another play in that game where Vick audibled to the run. Touchdown, Shady McCoy. You can't read defenses. And I hate to keep bringing this game up. I mean, it was an awesome game. I wish I could see it again and watch it again, DVR or something. But in 2010 against the Redskins, maybe the best quarterbacking performance there's ever been in the NFL. You don't have that. I don't care how bad the Redskins defense sucked. You don't have probably the best game a quarterback's ever had if you can't read a defense. Even last year, if you want to go recent, I mean, yeah, it was one of his few wins, but you don't beat the Super Bowl champion Ravens, which is a good defense. The only loss Ray Lewis had when he was on the field, by the way. You don't beat them if you can't read a defense. This is the Super Bowl champion Ravens that he beat. But he can't read a defense at all, huh? Give me a fucking break. Could he be better? Absolutely. I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just nitpicking at your word can't. Say Michael Vick could be better at reading defense. It's okay. You won't get an objection from me. But can't. Give me a fucking break. That makes you look so simple-minded and stupid. You know, you put up a lot with this shit. It's just like... So, yeah, I'm pretty much 80% sure that Michael Vick will be the starter, and I want him to be the starter. And I think he'll do well. And I'll love every day to say, told you so, told you so, told you so. It'll feel so good, shutting people up. But if he's not the starter, I'll admit I'm wrong, and I'll get on with the season, get on with my life, and continue watching the Eagles, rooting for their success, and having fun this season. I'm not going to care. I'm a fan of the Eagles. Okay? You know? So, that's my rant. 20, holy crap. That's my rant. I mean, I don't know why people can't just stop the damn bashing. You know, same people that said, oh, Michael Vick sucks, he's horrible, yada yada. They're the same ones that was like, holy shit, Michael Vick is fucking amazing in 2010. I understand that was 2 years ago. And another thing that pisses me off is people say, oh, besides the 6 games in 2010, Michael Vick sucked. That pisses me off too. 6 games? I'm not counting the unbelievable games. I'm counting the games he played where he played at a level where you want a starting quarterback to play at. Let's count them, shall we? I won't count the Packers, because even though he was good in that game, he didn't start that game. But the Lions, 35 points, he did pretty well. Okay. Level I want my starting quarterback to play at. Jaguars, 28-3. I mean, he was not running from the pocket. He was just zinging, some nice crisp passing. The Colts, he did some running in that game, but I mean, he played at a pretty high level. Beat Peyton Manning and the Colts. The Redskins, obviously. I mean, that was probably the best game we ever played. I don't know if I want to say the first Giants game. I mean, we got the win. Vick had some good passes. Avant dropped the easiest touchdown I've ever seen. Which, you know, if Avant would have caught that, I'd probably been like, all right, stats are good enough. I'll label it. You know, I'm gonna label it because it's not like Vick controlled Avant dropping the ball. It was right here and just. I mean, a 5-year-old could have made that catch. So let's see. Lions, Jaguars, Colts, Redskins, first Giants game, Cowboys, Texans, second Giants game, mostly the fourth quarter, but I mean it was so amazing. Alright, so that's 8 games in 2010. I don't think it was that bad in the wild card game against the Packers. I mean, we gave them their closest game of the whole playoffs, including the Super Bowl, by 5-point margin. The next closest was the Steelers in the Super Bowl at 6-point margin. But then, that's 8 games. In 2011, Vick had some good games too. I mean, he beat the Rams, and he was a little shaky, a little rusty. But the next week, against the Falcons, I mean, we lost the game, but we had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then Vick got injured. Against the first Giants game, we had a 2-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then Vick got injured, and then Vince Young came in and just I don't know if it was Vince Young or came in and just fucked it all up. Might have been Kafka actually. He dominated against the Cowboys twice, dominated against the Redskins twice, beat the Dolphins pretty handily, and beat the Jets really handily, like 45-10 or something like that. So he had many games. He had many good games, guys. Okay? Knock the damn 6-game shit off. But I gotta go. I mean, this is going on 25 minutes. You know, if you're gonna sit there, why can't we just see what happens? There's pluses and minuses to both, I guess. I mean, it's not impossible that Nick Foles can be a franchise quarterback. I just didn't see it. Maybe I didn't give him enough time. Maybe I'm not being patient enough. Okay, I just think Vick will be the starter, and I think Vick is the better quarterback as of right now. And I want to win games. So that's it. I'm going to make another video after this about the Riley Cooper situation. So be sure to watch that too. Alright, I'm out. Peace. Go Eagles.